Okay, my beautiful friends, here we go. It is Tuesday, June 21st, 2022. Are you watching stock futures right now? People higher across the board. Now, this really shouldn't be that big of a surprise here. What we have going on is literally unprecedented. Yes, we've seen this before. What am I referring to? Central banks buying all the debt to keep rates suppressed. Okay. But in my opinion, what we are seeing now out of the European Central Bank, which is now stepping up its emergency policy to stabilize the debt markets, to stop the fragmentation of the debt market. What does that sound like to you? Okay, to prevent an implosion in the Federal Reserve here, now using, in their own words, I mean, this is not me, unconventional methods to keep everything stable. And all they're doing here is, again, creating cash out of thin air and getting into the market and buy the debt. Well, on the back of that, stock futures are higher across the board. The real question is this, and I covered this yesterday in my Markets to Look Ahead. Number one, will it work? Okay, the Fed is in collusion or in concert with the European Central Bank attempting to push cash back into the stock market. Again, we've had over the last 5 out of 6 months, this market has fallen. Well, believe me, the Federal Reserve is paying attention to this along with other central banks. And I don't think they're done. They're going to attempt, in my view, to keep bubbles suspended. What are we in the middle of right now? A multiple bubble environment. A lot of inverse bubbles too. I'm referring to commodities across the board, and especially gold and especially silver here. They are in inverse bubbles. Okay, no doubt about this. And the Fed, along with the European Central Bank, other central banks, are going to keep this scheme going. They've inflated an epic bubble. It's a monster. There's nothing like it ever in the history of the world. This debt bubble, which continues to be fueled via crisis to crisis to crisis, the New World Order mechanism here, which will allow central banks to inflate and puppet governments to, fund anything they want to, of course, with the full stamp of approval by you. Yes, you, the American people, the middle class people around the world. You have to support every single crisis that comes along. If you don't, you're just a piece of dog shit and you don't care about people and you're not a patriot. You see how they have managed to stage this here. So we have, again, this monster bubble, which continues to get inflated. This mechanism of artificially suppressing rates is in full swing yet again. And this is, in fact, at least today, pushing cash into the stock market. Okay, we have a housing bubble, which in my view is off the freaking Richter scale as well. Again, multiple bubbles here. Real estate bubbles, stock market bubbles. It goes way beyond that, people. There are so many distortions. Nothing is real. The price action of nothing is real right now because of the action being taken by central banks since the last meltdown and going on right now in front of our faces with, emergency policy via the ECB and unconventional methods here via the Federal Reserve. Nothing is real. There's no price discovery mechanism behind a single asset. And that's why this market has become exceedingly challenging, at least for me at this particular time. Nothing makes sense anymore. How many times have you heard me explain PE ratios, forward guidance, earnings? It don't matter anymore. We don't have a free market. We have a managed market. We have some kind of a move to a absolutely full-on control mechanism over the people, keeping them stuck in some kind of fear, lulling them into a sense of security here. It's moving right into some kind of, again, I don't know how you want to define this, socialism, communism, fascism kind of a setup here. And this is obviously a mechanism to destroy an entire class of people. You all know that. So That's the story here this morning. Stock futures are higher across the board. We'll see if that lasts. We have the 10-year yield higher, 3.28. If in fact they lose control yet again of the debt market, understand this is a band-aid. This is a band-aid, what they're doing right now by getting into the debt markets and trying to stabilize them, preventing fragmentation here. It can't fix the issue. The issue is a hyper debt bubble. And what are they trying to do? Inflate it even larger here. At one point, this is all going to come down. It's going to get very, very real. What we've seen over the last 5 out of the last 6 months is nothing. Okay. Energy, food shortages, get ready for them. You have no idea how bad this is going to get moving forward. 2 more tremendous crises that are going to be thrown in your face, along with whatever else they want to do. Okay, a new variant or 2 or 3 with regard to COVID, a whole new disease process. I don't know. Whatever they're going to do, some type of false flag event, which is going to be tremendous. The drawing out of this war, the expansion of this war, the funding of this war, the American people, are funding this war to the tune of about $1.5 million per day. And you have no say-so. You must back it. Otherwise, again, you're not a patriot. You don't care about anybody. Let's move forward here. Cryptocurrencies are doing okay this morning. Bitcoin around 21,000. You got gold and silver relatively flat. Crude oil up higher by over 2%. Okay, that's the story. That's the setup for the market this morning. As usual, it's going to be exceedingly interesting to see how this plays out. Keep your eyes on, obviously, the 10-year yield, 3.28. Is it going to start surging higher? Well, if it does, what will that mean? The European Central Bank, the Federal Reserve, will have to resort to even more extreme measures in an attempt to stabilize the debt market. People, look, how do I put this another way to you? The debt market is going to implode. There is no doubt about it. We saw it already. It started. And this is why the European Central Bank has resorted to not only emergency measures, but now has stepped it up. I covered this yesterday in my Markets to Look Ahead. The Federal Reserve is going to follow suit here. All this is doing is exacerbating the underlying problem, which is a Frankenstein monster debt hyperbubble. It's going to burst. That bubble is going to change the landscape of the world by design here, foster a wealth transfer effect like we have never seen before. In my view, and I have not wavered from this, you will see commodity prices skyrocket. I also believe still that you will see the market capitalization of cryptocurrencies get much, much larger here. And a total breakdown of the financial system by design so they can put in a new system. That's what this is all about. We already have a one world government. This is central banks. And they've put in their little puppets to allow people to have some kind of figurehead, to bow down to or to keep people divided. Again, you're going to see more of that moving forward here. And, look, with regard to Trump and the current retard president, very divisive figures, keep people divided, let them argue amongst each other, give people enough rope to hang themselves while they, the central banks who are the real government, do whatever they want to do under the radar or right in your freaking face. And, allow their agenda to be realized. Okay, this is a multi-decade problem. And they've been working towards a goal for a very long time to be the lenders and buyers of last resort to rule the freaking world. And we already have, again, like I said, a one world government. All right, people, look, that's the story. Oh, how about this one? UK inflation hits a 40-year high with food and energy leading the way. Imagine my surprise here. Start loading up on non-perishable items. I think that's very important. As we all know, I mean, you gotta understand what's coming here. Shortages, real or not, will manifest themselves here in the United States and around the world. And you can rest assured, at least in my view, I think this is a lock, that you're going to see energy prices and commodity prices go much, much higher. So that's my take on the markets, on what's happening right now. I hope this makes sense to you. I want to hear from you. Please ponder the things I have covered in this video this morning. I think it's very important. I always read the comments. So place a comment here. Where do you see things going? Is this sound about right to you? Do you understand the mechanisms that are in place right now? Talk amongst yourselves here. And if you are so inclined, go to my website, traderschoice.net. There's a chat room there. It's free. I pay for that chat room. Okay. I always have to open up new rooms there. So every few months I open up new rooms, new spots for you, because it keeps getting bigger and bigger. So go over to that chat room. Again, it's free, 100% free. And talk to people over there. Get together with like-minded people. I really think we're at a tipping point here, people. So get with the program, all right? This guy here loves you a lot. Please share the video. As I said, comment, and I will see all of you later.